Welcome to Liverpool fans. Today we've got the latest updates of your beloved club Liverpool. But before we dive in, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a moment of breaking news. Let's get started. Mohamed Salah's future at Liverpool has once again become one of the most sensitive and closely watched storylines in English football, as fresh claims emerge suggesting the Egyptian forward has a quiet understanding with the club that could allow him to leave Anfield in the near future. With Salah currently away on international duty at the Africa Cup of Nations, speculation around his role, his relationship with the club, and Liverpool's long-term succession planning has intensified. At 33 years old, Salah remains one of the most productive attackers in world football. But the balance between loyalty, legacy, and long-term planning is now being tested. Liverpool, a club that has built its modern success on data-driven decisions and sustainability, finds itself walking a tightrope between honouring a club legend and preparing for the future. Salah's departure for AFCON earlier this week came at a moment when tensions were already simmering. Although he was included in the matchday squad against Brighton and contributed from the bench in a 2-0 victory, his emotional demeanour after the final whistle did little to quiet speculation. His prolonged interaction with supporters, interpreted by some as a farewell gesture, added fuel to an already growing fire. In recent weeks, Salah has been vocal, directly and indirectly, about his dissatisfaction with his reduced role. Being used as a substitute on multiple occasions marked a significant shift in his status, and following a dramatic 3-3 draw against Leeds, the forward hinted strongly that he felt exposed and undermined by decisions taken behind the scenes. His suggestion that someone at the club wanted him gone and was throwing him under the bus sent shockwaves through the Liverpool fan base. Although head coach Arne Slot attempted to calm the situation by restoring Salah to the squad and holding private talks with him, sources close to the club indicate that the underlying issues remain unresolved. Salah is understood to have no desire to continue as a rotational or impact player, particularly at this stage of his career, when he still believes he can start regularly at the highest level. Despite growing external pressure, Liverpool's ownership group, Fenway Sports Group, has remained firm on one point. Salah will not be allowed to leave during the January transfer window. The club is said to have communicated this stance clearly and intended to reinforce it in discussions with Salah's agent, Rami Abbasissa. From Liverpool's perspective, losing such an influential figure midway through the season would be destabilising, both competitively and symbolically. However, while January has been ruled out, the summer presents a very different scenario. According to transfer journalist Steve Kay, Salah's contract contains what has been described as a gentleman's agreement, allowing him to leave at a later date under mutually acceptable conditions. Speaking publicly, Kay explained that Salah initially sought a longer-term deal with greater flexibility, but compromise was reached. Salah reportedly wanted a 3-year contract that included the option to depart after the first season. Liverpool, cautious about committing to a player well into his 30s on elite wages, rejected that structure. Instead, a 2-year deal was agreed, with an informal understanding that Salah could pursue a move after one season if circumstances aligned. While nothing is written into the contract, the understanding is said to exist on the basis of trust and respect. Kay also played down the idea that Liverpool actively wanted Salah out. Instead, he suggested the conflict stemmed from contractual differences rather than personal or sporting rejection. From Liverpool's point of view, extending a player of Salah's age for 3 years carried too much financial and sporting risk. From Salah's perspective, security and control over his future were paramount. While emotions briefly spilled over following Salah's public comments, there is a growing sense that cooler heads have since prevailed. The situation, while delicate, is not viewed internally as irreparable. For former Liverpool defender and club legend Jamie Carragher, the idea of Salah remaining at least until the summer is a welcome one. Carragher has urged Salah to stay, finish his Liverpool chapter with dignity, and leave on terms that reflect his immense contribution to the club's modern history. Few players have defined an era at Anfield quite like Salah, and there is a shared desire among supporters to see his legacy protected. Yet behind the sentiment, Liverpool's planning for the future continues relentlessly. Since Richard Hughes's appointment as sporting director, succession planning has become a core principle. The signing of Georgi Mamardashvili as a long-term successor to Alisson was an early signal that Liverpool are willing to act well in advance when preparing for key transitions. James Pearce breaks down Liverpool's Mo Salah dilemma as gentlemen's agreement claims emerge. Mohamed Salah has been Liverpool's defining figure for nearly a decade. Goals, trophies, iconic moments, and an era shaped around his brilliance. But as the Egyptian king turns 33, Liverpool now face the most delicate and potentially explosive situation of the post-Klopp era. According to respected Liverpool journalist James Pearce, the club's Salah problem is no longer hypothetical. It is real, urgent, and growing more complex by the week, especially amid claims circulating elsewhere that Salah may already have a gentleman's agreement to leave Anfield. Whether true or not, the noise is getting louder, and Liverpool can no longer ignore it. The age factor. Liverpool can't escape. Salah remains elite, but football clubs at Liverpool's level plan ruthlessly. He is now 33, on massive wages, and approaching the final stretch of a contract that represents both brilliance and risk. Pearce points out that Liverpool's recruitment model has historically avoided extending premium deals deep into a player's 30s. It's not personal, it's structural. The club's data-driven approach prioritizes value retention, physical output, and resale potential. Salah, despite his legendary status, sits outside that model. That is the uncomfortable truth. The gentleman's agreement claims. Reports from outside Merseyside suggest Salah may already have an informal understanding with Liverpool that he will be allowed to leave if the right offer arrives, particularly from Saudi Arabia. Liverpool officially deny any such agreement. Pearce stresses there is no written clause, no formal exit plan. But equally, he notes that doors have never been slammed shut. Behind the scenes, Liverpool have listened before. They will listen again. And that, in itself, fuels belief that a quiet understanding may exist, one built on respect rather than paperwork. Salah's body language and Slot's challenge. Arne Slot inherited Salah, not as a new signing, but as an institution. Managing him has proven to be one of the toughest tasks of Slot's early reign. Salah has started fewer games. His minutes have been managed. His reactions, subtle gestures, visible frustration, have not gone unnoticed. Pearce highlights that while talks between Slot and Salah have eased immediate tension, the underlying issue remains unresolved. How do you reduce the role of a legend without igniting a crisis? Slot wants intensity, pressing, rotation. Salah wants rhythm, trust, and centrality. Those philosophies do not always align. Liverpool's succession plan is already moving. One of Pearce's key insights is that Liverpool's actions speak louder than words. The club has already moved aggressively in the market. New attackers signed, versatile wide players targeted, younger profiles prioritized. Antoine Semenyo's name has repeatedly surfaced. Others remain under close monitoring. This is not coincidence. Liverpool are actively preparing for life after Salah, even if the man himself remains at the club today. The financial reality. From a business standpoint, the numbers are staggering. Saudi clubs remain willing to pay 100 to 110 million euros for Salah. At 33, this could be Liverpool's final chance to extract maximum value. Pearce makes it clear, Liverpool will not force Salah out, but they will not ignore an offer that could fund multiple signings and refresh the squad. It is a brutal calculation. But elite clubs survive by making them. Salah's perspective. From Salah's side, the situation is equally complex. He believes he is still Liverpool's best forward. He still delivers decisive moments. He still feels capable of leading a title challenge. But he also knows time is short. A final mega contract. A new challenge. A chance to leave on his own terms. These thoughts are natural and unavoidable. What James Pearce really says between the lines. Pearce does not claim Salah is leaving tomorrow. He does not confirm a gentleman's agreement. But his reporting makes one thing clear. Liverpool are emotionally attached, but strategically detached. Salah is still vital, but no longer untouchable. Both sides are preparing, quietly, for separation. The question is no longer if the Salah era will end. It is when, and on whose terms. A legacy hanging in the balance. If Salah leaves too late, Liverpool risk decline. If he leaves too early, they risk regret. That is the knife edge James Pearce is pointing toward. For now, Salah remains a Liverpool player. For now, the goals still matter. For now, the king still wears red. But make no mistake, the endgame has begun.